This is Carl Johnson of CJ Behavior Coaching and Consulting, and thank you so much for checking into our podcast today. Today, we're going to be talking about consequences, specifically when parents or caregivers physically take things away from kids um, consistently when they're doing things that the parent doesn't like or the caregiver doesn't like, and talking about how that's a very ineffective tool to use because it actually begins to cause more behaviors. And the post says, a child who constantly has things taken away from them as a form of punishment may eventually respond with, I don't care. Why should a child care about something that they will eventually keep losing? So, quite often, parents will say, I'm going to take your phone away, I'm going to take your video games away, your toys away, your TV privileges, and those things away from a child because you want them to stop doing what they're doing, some negative behavior, something you want to be changed, and maybe other things that you tried haven't worked. So the progression goes, okay, I'm going to talk about this and say, stop doing this. You don't listen. I'm going to take these things away. So one of the problems with that is quite often the property you take away from a child intentionally is something that they care about or means the most to them. Now, think about this. If something meant a lot to you and that was taken from you, how would you feel about that? I understand that you want to take something that they care about to get a reaction from them, but do you really think about that? If you cared about your wallet or you cared about your special watch or your special stick and someone took that away from you, that might make you feel a little bit angry. And so if you're frustrated about something else and now someone takes something away from you that you care about, it's actually going to cause more negative feelings. Now, if you are following me with this one, these negative behaviors are being driven by these feelings, these big feelings. The more negative feelings that are created, the more negative behaviors you're going to see. So by taking things away from a child, it actually causes more negative behavior. So it actually increases things that you're looking to decrease. And the child says, why should I care about something that I'll eventually keep losing? The child, and then the next thing is the child begins to focus on getting the item back, but not change the behavior long term. Now they may do what you said, but they just were doing that to get the thing back. They've missed the whole, this was not safe. You can't do this. This is a safety issue inside the house. You shouldn't do this. This is a safety issue outside the house. You shouldn't do this. This is a safety issue inside of school. Their focus is, I just want to get my thing back. And that's it. And what'll happen is you'll look and see a lot of parents who use this technique find themselves in a situation where this is happening on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis, a monthly basis, and that's too much. That's a pattern. Okay. And then another thing to think about is after things are repeatedly moved from the child, the things no longer become special to them. So a child may say, hey, so you're taking me to the store to buy this? Oh, okay, no thanks. Or it may not be a big deal to them. And you may think to yourself as a parent, wow, I just said I'm going to take you to the store to buy this toy. I just said I'm going to get this new phone for you. I said I'm going to get these new clothes for you. And a child seems like they don't care or they're not that enthusiastic about it. Well, one of the reasons they may not really care about that thing you're going to buy them now is because they may feel, why should I like this thing now? Why should I care about this thing now? When you get upset with me, you're only going to take it away and basically hold it over my head. This can happen when you use this technique repeatedly and you rely on these kind of things to get your child to comply, to do what you tell them to do. These are some of the harmful effects that can happen from taking these things away. And to a child, it becomes similar to a hostage situation where one side is holding something special from someone else and they'll only give it back once the demands are met. That looks like a hostage situation to a child. And remember, it's their perception of how they see things. It's like, wow, you're going to keep this special thing of mine when I meet your demands. And it just, to a child, it may seem like that's not fair. And we can say life is not fair. But when you think about your child, if your child has these negative feelings about you in the situation, you're absolutely going to see more negative behaviors based on that. And the trap with taking these things away is the lesson you were trying to teach is lost. Here's one thing to also think about. Some children aren't connected to things. So taking them away actually doesn't affect them. So sometimes a child may say, I don't care. That child actually doesn't care. And sometimes a child will say, I don't care, just to protect their feelings and to push your buttons. And unfortunately, what can happen sometimes for some caregivers is a child says, I don't care. And then the caregiver says, well, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take this. And it's just, they continue to do it till they feel like they've got something to affect change with that child. But what you're doing is you're taking more and more and more, and it doesn't seem fair. There's no guidelines to your consequences. It's just unlimited. That seems very unfair, and you're not going to get the behavior that you want when you're not being fair in a child's eyes. The caregiver begins to take more things away, and maybe even faster. It becomes another quick fix that backfires. The behaviors will increase and the caregiver becomes angrier. So as you do these things and it's not working for you, you will start to do more because the child is, again, not doing what you told them to do. Or you're using this technique, your child is doing it just to get it back for that day, and then you're back at it again the very next day having to take things away from them. And the reason why this happens is because this is not an effective tool to use, is physically taking things away. So if this is a tool that you're using and you're finding yourself in these situations repeatedly, it will be a good idea to give us a call at 480-740-4976, or you can email us at cjempowersparents@gmail.com. We're also on Instagram at cjempowersparents. We give tips for parents, foster parents, caregivers. We love to hear from you. We love to help you work on some tools and help build up your toolbox. So give us a call. And thank you so much for checking in to our podcast today. Have a great day.